Sean King on it. He is a fitness guru and he is a Herbalife. And he offers free fitness training every Monday and Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. So, yeah, but anyway, I have beautiful queen up in here. Whew, I have beautiful queen up in here. Miss Odessa. Hi, Miss Odessa. Let me make sure I'm doing all this right because I'm waking up with sweat. I'm feeling like crap. I'm starting to feel a little better. I did eat, so that's a good thing. But I still feel like I need to just crawl underneath it here and go to sleep. So I have to bear with me a hot minute. I'm trying not to cough a lot. But anyway, I appreciate you coming here. We're going to discuss some hot topics. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. We're not going to do the Wonder Woman thing. Yeah, we're not going to go into all that stuff.
How you doing?
But you have a book here. I
Yes.
like the cover of your book.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. What is that?
A child raising a child.
Who's on the cover?
This is just a regular stock photo. I should have put myself on the cover, right? It's just a stock photo.
Okay.
To elicit the emotion I wanted to elicit when I published it.
Okay. What made you? Matter of fact, I'm sorry. Before we go into all that, Miss Odessa, can you tell us a little bit about like who you are?
My name's Odessa White, born and raised in Philadelphia. I am 33 years old. I am a mother of 4. I'm a licensed practical nurse. I'm also a 2-time best-selling author of 2 books, one titled A Child Raising a Child and What Are You Waiting For? Goal Setting Edition. I'm also CEO of OGW Publishing. I have several authors and coaching clients that I help write their best-selling books in 90 days.
Oh, I wrote a book.
Did you?
Um, when I was little. And even had pictures. I colored and does that count?
That count. That count.
Oh,
You're still an author. You're just not a published author yet,
oh,
but you're an author.
oh, okay. Now, I knew I had to
That's
steal.
right. That's
Yeah.
right.
But anyway, let me ask you this: what prompted you to want to write? Because a lot of us don't have that gift. I don't have that gift at all at writing. I try to shorten and everything because I'm not a writer. I don't articulate very well on words.
For me, I'm a reader. I love books. I'm a reader, so I was the book nerd. So instead of asking for toys or jewelry or devices when I was younger, I asked my mom for books, like history books, and that's when I fell in love with words, as corny as that sounds. And I want to say, probably when I found myself becoming a teenage mom, I started writing poetry and things to escape some of the turmoil I was feeling, and it really was therapeutic for me. So that's when I first started my journey at writing. I was about 15 years old, and I was like, I'm writing my own book.
15.
15.
Normally at 15, we're out in the streets.
Oh, I was.
We're
I
playing.
was.
We're playing.
Just in a different
We're
street.
playing games,
Mhm.
and she was writing. I mean, hey, that's a good thing because I used to read. I don't do it now, but I was fascinated with reading, so I had all types of books, and I had all types of authors, and I read on the body, medicine. I was a fiend on medicine because I just don't like medicine.
Me either.
My thought was the long-term effect,
Mhm.
which is one of the reasons why I was never like with the cold. I would always, did you take no?
Mhm.
It's that long-term, that stuff that sits in my kidneys.
Right.
Like, okay.
Right.
What is it? So I'm not plus we wasn't raised on it.
Right.
I grew up, my grandmother had Bayer, aspirin, and Fletcher's catcher oil. I remember that because that was all that we had. Now I just took it because I seen her take it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But, to have you read at such a young age is like, wow. And then she's like 2 books in plus and a life coach and you just, so how do you find time to incorporate all that with the family? Yeah, because like
You know what?
mommy
It's
time.
really not hard.
Like when do you write? When everybody sleep?
I write when everybody sleep. With this book, okay, so my coaching clients, I have coaching clients in Florida, Atlanta, just all over, and as well as Philadelphia. And a lot of them, I realized, are experiencing so many different adversities. And when I wrote this book, I was facing an eviction. I was dealing with, as I was writing this book, my oldest son father had got murdered, so we was dealing with the situations around that. So I was trying to look for a place for my four kids while still working to get this money up for us to move, as well as writing a book. So I really believe like just balancing everything. I learned how to not stress. Once I put it in God's hand, all I can do is take action and let Him guide me and do the best I can. So I find time to make sure my kids know just how important they are. So even now, I've been running all day. I'm working on 2 hours of sleep. I think I got probably 2 hours of sleep yesterday. And if I come home, I might go home and I might feel like doing karaoke before I go to work tonight, and that's what me and the kids are going to do. So they know like everything mommy do, her grind is all for them, but they also know that they're important. So I have to take time. If I'm going hard as with my career as a nurse, and then I'm going hard for my coaching clients, and then I'm going hard for my personal endeavors as an author, then I have to go just as hard for my kids. So when you just know, it's okay. Sometimes I have to tell them, like, okay, not today, but tomorrow. So when tomorrow comes, mommy got to make sure she comes through tomorrow. So it's just important to find, everybody individual balance, and I'm lucky that I found mine.
Mm. Karaoke with the children.
Yeah, we did karaoke the other night. We do karaoke on Tuesday. We call it Tuesday Tunes. So we do karaoke every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, she makes time to spend with the children. That's good. Writing books. Is there room for dating? You know, I ask that because I'm
I
finding
do. No, I
a
date.
lot of mothers that have a lot of business and family.
No, I still
Barely,
find time.
barely finding time, and I'm not talking about like a committed relationship, just to like spend some me time with.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not in a committed relationship, but I am dating.
No, not to get in your business. But
Yeah,
it's
I am
easy
dating.
to-
It's easy because, again, whoever I date knows. They know who I am when
Right.
when they signed up. I'm a nurse. My career is crazy.
Yeah.
I might go and work and I might have an easy night, and the next day somebody might cold.
Right.
So it's a lot of mental stress. But I guess my experience through life kind of prepared me for it. And with my business, like sometimes I'm multitasking, but whoever I date kind of understands. If they don't, they gotta go. But I do find time because when I'm off of work late night, I might go on dates and things
Right.
like that. And I mean, I go on. I definitely find free time just to relax because it's important for me to take care of me.
Right.
And it's important for me to do things outside of being a mother, outside of being a nurse. After pouring into so many people, sometimes it's good to just have somebody you can sit back, relax, and just be yourself with no superficial layers. Just be
Right.
yourself. Going to the movies, out for a drink. So I definitely find time for me. My oldest is actually about to be 17 in a couple days, so she knows mommy's dating.
Right.
Because she's going to be dating soon. So we talk about, if he pissed me off, we'll talk about that. I'll be like, girl, he did this, and what you think? Because I want her to understand when you start dating, you might be in these situations. How would you respond? And yeah, my kids are pretty flexible. When it's mommy time, they understand because again, I make them feel important.
Right.
I make them feel important. I try to spend as much time with them as I can, but they also know that mommy needs some time to her. So like my kids would be like, Mom, go out. Like you need to go out.
That's
So
good.
yeah,
Yeah, because I'm like I said, I'm meeting a lot of females who are,
I agree.
and I don't wanna
Especially
say
entrepreneurs.
jealous, but yeah, they
Especially
are,
entrepreneurs.
yeah,
Oh my
and
God,
it's
you're
like
right.
when you're trying to be your own boss,
Right.
with a family, it's like,
Right.
ooh, it's not really that hard when you're trying
It
to,
can
but you're
be,
trying
but
to,
I understand because I just was having a conversation with somebody today. It's crazy you worked that up, and I said I have prayed for God to increase my territory, for Him to increase my finances, but I never prayed for Him to bring me my spouse, so to speak,
Right.
And I'm like, I think I need to change my prayers because I'm getting older, so it is time for me to figure out, like, well, who I want to be with. Do I want to continue being single? Do I want to continue dating? And I think that sometimes we do get caught up on trying to, obtain that success that we forget, the ultimate goal is to have somebody to share it with. Outside the
I'm trying to do everything and breathe all at the same time. It just feels like I just want to take my throat out, scratch whatever's in there, and then put it back, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So this last book, let me ask you this: do you incorporate your children in your books
Yeah. Yes, I do.
under fictitious names?
No.
They're
Under their
actually.
names. It's their names. Yep, it's their names.
Because-
Well, you know what? Okay, I take that back. In my dedication, of course, I said their names. In my dedication. My books are nonfiction, so they are real life, but I may say my oldest daughter or my oldest son. But I am very upfront and honest with my kids, so I don't necessarily use their names, but I'll say my oldest child. My oldest child knows she my, so she may know I'm referring to her. That's just like I recently, 2 weeks ago, I was WDAS Women of Excellence honoree, and my daughter was there. My oldest baby was there. Thank you. And she's like, Mom, I need to check because you making all these book sales, and this whole book was almost about me. I said, no, it wasn't. No. So I do, because my kids, being a mother is a big part of my drive. And the reason when I didn't know what success was or know, just to climb out of the depression I was in, they were the reason I did that. So everything I do, I somehow try to incorporate them in a way.
Depression. So you are a licensed nurse.
Yes.
Licensed nurse. That took years.
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm sitting across an amazing, beautiful black woman up here. So we all know going to school for nursing is not a joke. That requires a lot of studying, a lot of patience, a lot of time.
Right.
And then you write books on top of sacrificing a lot. But this excellence, how did you get to be called in for the Woman of Excellence?
Listen, so many people nominated me. That was an amazing experience. That was the highlight of 2019. That was the highlight of my year. But a lot of people nominated me. I don't even know what they said. They said for them to decide to choose me as the one to receive the Mary J. Blige Award for Perseverance and Courage. I'm assuming they said some amazing things, and that was all true, but I would love to know what they said.
Right.
I would love to know what they said. I would love to know exactly who, I know a few of my friends did, because, but I want to know, exactly who actually nominated me. Even if I could pick their brain and find out how I was chosen to be that one, because they honored several women. Eve was one of the women. The rapper. She got the Trailblazer Award, and I was one of the ones out of all of. I think it was 10 of us, 10 or 12, and then somebody got the MJB Award. So for me to find out it was me, it was a humbling experience because Eve and Mary J. Blige, listen, relationships, okay, I went through it early. So Mary took me through, she got me through some things. And to this day, Eve is still my favorite rapper. So to be able to really be a teenage mom, to have my first child at 16 and have so many people count me out, to be able to share a platform and a stage with Eve, that was amazing. That was amazing. It solidified for me that I am moving in the right direction. Even though I'm not actually where I want to be, I am definitely moving in the right direction and I'm walking in my purpose. So it was amazing.
That's a good thing. Now, we touch on being a young mom. Let me ask you this one. For those that are out there, I just recently met a young mom, homeless.
I've been here.
She's 8 months.
Oh, wow.
Her and this was all Saturday. So I say this because a lot of things I'm feeding off of what you just said, the God part. And I do know that there's a God. I believe that there's a God. I've seen him do some things. I've just never seen the magnitude. Last Saturday, we're out, a group of people, we're out for what was supposed to be a summit turned into a day of saving 3 lives.
Wow.
Her boyfriend, and her unborn baby. And the people that were there, I had supplies here. What happens, I had donations here. People on Facebook cashed at me. When the government
Wow.
had shut down, I said I was going to give it to people, and the government opened up, and I could not get rid of the stuff. I don't care how many times I went on live, how
Yeah.
many times I asked. So what happened was, when we met them, one of the ladies said, I'll let you stay at my place for 3 days. Um, One was a nurse practitioner. When it was all said and done, by the time we left, me and a gentleman came back here so we get the supplies. We get over to the house, and the lady offered her house until they found the house. One of the nurse practitioner gave money. The gentleman that helped me bring the supplies
Yeah.
over, he brought food. Everyone that was there did some stuff for
Yes.
this young mother, and she's thanking us like profusely,
Yeah.
crying and stuff. And I'm listening to you speak of, young mother at 16. Here, this was a young mother, and you have other young mothers who are young, for whatever reason, family, no family. What do you tell these young children? We managed to save a family,
Right.
so they have a base to come back to.
Right.
But there's somebody out there, and I don't know your situation, but there's somebody out there. Like, what do you tell someone who's young and wants to have the dreams that you have, want to be in that life where you are now? What do you tell them to get them through it?
Be willing to work. Be willing to work. First of all, I think that was amazing. Because I've been there before, so it has not been easy. It hasn't been easy, and I think this is why I am successful the way I am, and I'm receiving the success that I am, because I don't believe in excuses. I had every excuse and I had every reason to give up. And I started, and this was why I wrote A Child Raising a Child. My first book I wrote was not A Child Raising a Child. I was not even raising her yet,
Right.
It was an urban fiction, but after experiencing all the adversities, I had a nervous breakdown at 19. And for me, the shift took place when I first had my child. I knew I wanted something different for her. I knew I wanted something different. I knew I wanted to be successful. I really just didn't have the blueprint.
Right.
My mom was an amazing mother, but she couldn't really show me what the things that I wanted to achieve, the dreams I had, and that's why I'm having a vision board party, a vision board workshop on Saturday. The dreams I had, I thought I couldn't achieve them because nobody around me was achieving these
Right.
dreams, and they didn't have this level of success. So it was just dreams. It was just dreams in my head that I would think about. And when I had my daughter, and I was wild. I was wild. I've been in several disciplinary schools. I was an angry child. I lashed out at everybody. I used to be fearful walking down the street with my daughter because I wreaked havoc on so many people. And once I started changing my life, I used to, for a few years, I'm
Right.
like, what if I run across somebody I done did something to? I was in Daniel Boone for 3 years. From there, I went to alternative school where they were allowed to physically restrain you. And it was bad. It was bad because I had so much anger and resentment in me, and I wasn't listening to nobody.
Right.
But for me, and I don't encourage teenage pregnancy, but more so once you're in a situation, how you can still how you can still push through to success. My daughter changed everything for me. I wasn't into the same things. Like hanging in the street wasn't appealing no more. I had to do something different for her. So I would just say push past all the adversities. Know that there is a God. Know that if you visualize your future, because we're everything we say we are. So, I started to believe for years, even though I was like trying to be successful, I was trying to go to school, I was doing the right things, I still subconsciously believed what people was telling me. Everybody said, oh, Dusty, you messed your life up. Oh, you never should have had that baby. You should. And I started to internalize those things and believe them. And once I had the nervous breakdown, all those voices was playing in my head.
Right.
All those voices was playing in my head. And I really contemplated taking my life and like walking away from my child. And I remember my mom coming to visit me, and I would just sit there crying. And that was the shift for me. That was the shift for me because even though I was trying to be successful, and even though I graduated college and I became a certified nursing assistant at first, I still was a negative person. My
Mm.
mindset was still negative. So I had what, I started the success educational wise, but I still was mentally damaged. And after the nervous breakdown, I started to reshift my mindset and I started to focus on positive things. And when a negative thought popped into my head, I trained my mind to think something positive. So I'm real big on affirmations. But also you got to do the work. I don't believe in victim blaming.
Mm.
I don't believe in making excuses. I don't believe in acting off emotions because if I act off emotions, I wouldn't want to wake up and I wouldn't want to do anything. So I would just encourage them to keep going. Know that if I made it through what I went through, anybody can. So again, this is why I'm really contributing my success to my coaching clients because I really love doing this. That I started coaching like 6 months ago because they know they can't make excuses with me. And
Right.
I have my clients, all of them older than me, all of them. But they know they can't make excuses because I done been through too much. I done been
Right.
through too much, and I'm juggling too much. And if I can do it, you can do it. I learned how to not, dwell on negativity. So if I get a shut off, I got a shut off notice back then. Instead of crying and moping about the shut off notice or picking up the phone, I'm going to figure out how I can get this money the right way, the legal way.
Right.
And guess what? If I can't get the money because I ain't working, I'm going to put it in God's hands and figure out how quick I can get a job. So I learned how to just be proactive while praying. And that's when, my faith really, because I'm telling you, when I wrote this book, I was in the beginning phases of it. And when I look back and read some of the things, like one of the quotes was, and it wasn't my quote, I gave credit to the person, but one of the quotes was, make a goal so big that you got to grow into that person.
Mm.
And I didn't understand that until now. And when I say my life has shifted all around personal with my kids, like me and my kids have such a dope relationship because, like I said, I force myself to be positive because there's a lot of negativity going on around you. You can start really feeding into it. So I would encourage anybody to just push past the negativity and push past your fears and stay focused.
Now, this coaching. How did you get into this coaching? What prompt? Because you got anger, you got depression.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
told you I like reading, right?
she loves reading.
Yeah, so last year, even though I graduated from CCP years ago, last year I decided it was the cheapest, most cost-effective thing to go back to CCP for my entrepreneur certification. And one of the things that they taught me was to figure out what your customers want. And even though I had traditional authors that would come to me with the completed manuscript, I had so many people that were struggling with writing the book. And typically I was saying, I'm the publisher. Your book got to be finished. Like, it got to be
Right.
finished. And once it's finished, I'll hook it up for you, but it has to be finished. But it was so many people coming to me, and I'm like, And I always had the gift of gab. People always listened to me. So I'm like, well, let me try it out. And I did it for $50.
Mm-hmm.
I did it for $50. And that person was a very inconsistent person, but she wrote that book, right? So then I went up a little bit with my price, and I did it with 2 more people. I'm like, wow. Then I'm like, well, I'm going up again because when I say my clients call me 24/7, they got 24. So I'm like, I wanted, because I went through mentorship programs, and you never really get to talk to the boss.
Right.
If you do, it's in a group setting. So I wanted to be customized to my clients' needs. So that particular day, even though they're supposed to be 30 minutes to an hour, you might have me for 2 hours and you get to pick my brain and we get to strategize. And, I don't claim life coach yet because I do want to get the accreditations behind that. So I advertise writing coach, but we haven't been able to push through personal barriers because a lot of times it's the personal barriers that's stopping you from completing that book. And now I am on client number 6. All my clients in turn either come back to be a traditional author or they get the assisted publishing services, and they become like a family. And that's when I'm like, wait, it's a different feeling when I have my coaching clients. Like, I'm like, okay, I like teaching. I like teaching. So that's how I got into coaching.
I find it very interesting as I listen to you, for you to have had a lot of negative stuff. I want to say it was sitting on top of the positive. because
Right.
eventually the positive pushed his way. It was like,
Right.
yo, I can't do this.
Right.
And it's interesting how I've met a lot of people. Like, I meet a lot of people, and it doesn't turn out that way. Everybody's different.
That's true.
But to hear you say you have accomplished so much,
Right.
I don't think people are really understanding when I say this. Like, you literally have a family
Yeah.
on top of books, on top of nursing, and school is not easy.
No,
You know, not when you have papers and
No,
exams and tests and
wait. I had 2 4-month-old twins at home. 2 4-month-old twins at home. When I was in college, my second to last semester, I got pregnant with my twins, and I shared that. I had publicly shared that my twins will one day see some of these videos. Matter of fact, I shared it in a book, so they will read this. I was devastated, and I really was contemplating not going through with that pregnancy, because for me, I was finally seeing my hard work pay off. I was 2 semesters away from graduation, and you telling me that I'm carrying twins. I'm struggling with 2 kids, and you telling me you about to throw 2 more on top of me. You know, like, we don't even have enough room for the family we got, you know, so that was a lot.
Yeah,
that was a lot. But I still graduated college. When I registered for my last semester, I was 5 months pregnant, and the professor said, I emailed her, hey, professor, I started taking online classes because my stomach was huge. And the professor was like, well, maybe you want to sit this one out. I said, ma'am, this is my last semester. I will be here. If you don't hear from me, that means I'm delivering the baby. And honest to God truth, I got out that hospital, and a week later, I was turning in my assignments. I just did my work ahead of time. And I delivered them September 2011. I started nursing school April 2012. This was about 5 months. But when I went to nursing school, I was so serious. Everybody was playing, right? And nursing school is like it's like almost like a sorority.
yeah.
The connections you make, because the things you go, nursing school is tough. It's tough. I had no driver's license, and they told us all our clinical sites was outside of Philadelphia. Langhorne, Exxon, Melbourne, and clinical started in 6 weeks. I had my driver's ed teacher coming up here on my lunch break teaching me how to drive. When our clinical started in 6 weeks, everybody was lowered up, because she was like, oh, y'all rely on a buddy system. And I'm looking around at all these 30 faces that I don't know. And I said, I came too far to depend on another human being. I guess I got to get my license. So I was like 26 when I got my license, and I was determined. And I didn't know how to drive, but we was driving out there to clinical sites. So I had no choice but to learn how to, you can't achieve a certain level of success until you change your mindset. You know, so I could dwell on like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, or I could just, focus on the positive and keep pushing. So that's what I learned how to do.
I know you accomplish a lot. Nursing school, author, CEO of OBW Writing, mother, balancing everything. And the only reason why I focus on that, because I really need to up my A game. I'm listening to you.
Listen, we all listen.
I'm listening to you with this no excuse. And there are times when I do, like, I think because I'm moving, that I'm doing something,
But are you making progress?
but I'm not doing
Right,
anything.
but that's fine, because
Yeah.
I think this is the beauty of things, when you're able to analyze yourself and be honest with yourself. See, most people can't be honest with themselves. And like, I'll have a conversation with somebody, and I'll be like, I feel stagnated, and they be like, oh, you doing all this, and you super mom, and you this and you that, and they don't understand. If I'm not making progress, I feel stagnated in life, because just because you moving and you busy don't mean it don't mean you productive or you being productive. And just to see the amount of people's lives that's like, for people to inbox me, like at the WDAS award ceremony, I didn't even say everything I wanted, because I didn't write a speech. I should have wrote a speech, because I forgot to thank some people. But to get off that stage, and Eve, a multimillionaire, is standing right here, and people in line to take up pictures with her, but to turn around and it's a line for me, and people cry. I'm like, whoa, wait, hold up. I'm like, it was humbling. Like, it was humbling. Because when you're moving through life and you're trying to be successful, you really don't sit back and look at your accomplishments. But I challenge you, and I challenge even my daughter. I challenge my daughter. She's going to 12th grade, and she's ready to take. She's in honor society, National Honor Society, and she's ready to take a class. And she's like, "Oh, mom, I know it's going to be hard." And I'm like, "Okay." And she like, "Well, I pushed myself and took an honor class in 10th grade, and I pushed myself in 11th grade, and I kind of want my 12th grade year to be easy." And I said, "Yeah, and you messing yourself over." And I'm wrong with her, so I didn't say that word. I said, you messing yourself over because life is going to be tough. You're going to be hit with, I can't protect you from everything. We living in a sinful world, so you're going to experience severe adversity. So if you try to just get through life and you want an easy ride, you're going to be sadly mistaken when you get out here in the real world. So nonetheless, she like, all right, mom, I will take the class. You don't have to. You got to start pushing yourself and challenging yourself, now, because once you get through life, you'll be complacent with just working paycheck to paycheck
Yeah.
to paycheck. And I just want more for them, like I want more for them. I struggle so much, so y'all don't have to struggle. Y'all still are going to experience adversities.
Right.
That's just how life is set up.
Yeah, it is.
But it's some things you don't have to go through. So I challenge my kids, and I challenge everybody. And that's why visualization, I'm a big fan. Like, people be like, oh, it's a visual. I'm a big fan of visualization and actually writing those plans down. And, breaking them down into smaller steps because it seems overwhelming.
Yeah, it does.
And I don't think people, I know in Philadelphia you have people, but when you Google Philadelphia publishers, I'm the first name that pop up. So to try to have a publishing company, I don't have any mentors that I can go to and say, how do you run your publishing company? So to be able to do that, I had to really not look at the overwhelming goal, but really break it down into tasks so it doesn't seem overwhelming for me. And as I just check off each task, I look up and I'm at my goal. So that's what I challenge a lot of people to do. Just break it down so it don't seem overwhelming. And if you're like accomplishing something every day, you look up and you might hit a goal that you don't even think you hit faster than you expected to.
Yeah, that's generally how that goes. Let me ask you this question. What's next? Movies?
I do want to
Plays?
I do want to play. I want to play.
How did I figure
You
that
know
out?
what? Honestly, this is like a watered down version. I've been through some stuff. I would love to have a play because I just feel like the young people need to hear that. Like
I think everybody needs to hear
Yeah.
someone else's story. Everyone thinks they have a story, and I'm not saying they don't,
Right.
but I'm going to say it again until you leave. I dwell on your story because I'm listening to it, and it's like, I'm not saying I didn't overcome a lot, but I didn't put the effort like you did. I came up with excuses. I blamed them. I blamed him. I blamed her.
Right.
I blamed everyone else.
Right.
And by the time I realized, hey,
Right.
they didn't make me, they didn't force me.
Right.
My life was like, so I didn't.
Right.
I'm starting off late,
That's the truth.
and I'm hearing you say that I didn't have time for
But
excuses.
It's never too late, though. It's really never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah,
It's never too late.
it's
And
never too late.
That's the truth. Like, before now, my mom called me. I'm driving her around, and anybody that read the book, they be like, "Oh, you said you hated your mom, and you call her your queen now." She did not do everything right. She didn't do everything right. But you know what? I had to learn how to let that anger go.
Yeah.
Because it was halting my growth. I could have blamed my daughter father for being absent in her life for the first 5 years. I could have blamed my father for never being around. I could have blamed my mom for being busy and not being the parent I needed her to be.
Right.
I could have blamed so many people. But I had to take accountability for my actions. I really had to take accountability for my actions.
Yeah, who else?
I know that I'm not perfect, and I'm flawed. I'm going to continue to make mistakes because I'm human. I'm not perfect. But when you take accountability, if you do something wrong to somebody, I apologize. And sincerely, I learned how to just take accountability for whatever I do. I can stand on my own 2 feet and just accept, whatever comes my way.
Now, we talking plays, and I'm curious to know,
does.
Yes, you have to. I do. I tell people. Well, I haven't done it a lot, but I will always say, write the vision, make it plain. You have to
Yes.
speak them things into it.
Yes, you
When
do.
you speak it, then you start hearing it, and when you hear it, then it does
Yes.
because I don't have money. Where I'm gonna get
Right.
this from? But if
I
you
didn't
focus
either.
on that, then you'll never get. If you just start writing it down, some of the stuff you already have.
Yes.
I
That's
mean,
the truth.
realistically, you really already have
Yeah.
it. And the other stuff is really not that hard, but it's just some don't know. Like I
Yeah.
didn't know, but you have a play that's going to be in the works soon, and I'm just curious to know who would be some of the characters. Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey,
Right.
Eve, me.
You look. You
Did
can
I
play
did
a
I slide
character.
that right? I was
Yes.
trying to act like I was coughing, but
You can play a character.
I went all the way up high.
But I honestly do want to do that. Definitely in the near future, because I would love my daughter to play me. I would love my daughter. She looks just like me. I would love my daughter to play me, and I would be the mother. But of course, I would need like other rules.
Right.
I don't. Like I said, Eve was a. I don't idolize like stars and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
They're human.
Yeah, and more so, I'm the type of person, like, I'm big in my house. Like, we do Kwanzaa, we don't do Christmas, and people don't
Oh.
understand why we don't do Christmas, but I'm big on the give back. Like, don't get me wrong, my company is for profit. It is for profit. I am working hard. God gonna provide, so it's for profit, right? But I believe in giving back to your community. And prime example, somebody invited me, they wanted me a part of their organization, and it was for the youth. And that's my passion, one of my passions. And we went there, me and my daughter, and after we left, I said, what did you think? She said, well, all the young people there was already on their way to college, or, she said, I just don't feel like that was really for you. And I said, you're right. What about the forgotten people? What about
Right.
the people in the hood? What about the people? Because, see, y'all forgot about me. Y'all counted me out, too.
Yeah.
So I'm not really interested in reaching people that already is running this straight and narrow. So that's why the play is important to me, just to give people an opportunity that do have talents to really, I kind of got a production company that I'm pretty sure I'm going to go through, but I just haven't had time. I'm a writer, so struggling with turning my story over to another writer and not taking part in that
Yeah.
part is kind of hard, but it's either I got to find a time or turn it over to the production team so they can write the story. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do.
So the forgotten people out there,
Yeah.
that feel as though, hey, I don't have a snowball chance in hell.
Right.
Miss Odessa White is a prime example of that. You do.
You do?
It's sad to say, but I guess snowballs won't melt in hell
Right.
if you put that no excuse zone
Right.
into play.
Right.
Wow. So we got Arthur, we have a nurse, we have children, a mother. She's a provider, nurturer. She's beautiful. She's talented. No excuse zone. I so admire that. I really have to up my A game after listening to everything you have to say. I so appreciate you just being here.
I appreciate letting me be here.
Stage play coming. I'm telling you, I already spoke it, so it has to come.
That's right.
God said when two or more in the midst, two or more in agreement, he's in the midst, so
right.
it's going to come. But tell us something that we don't know, that you have been secretly keeping, like, where you going to add my name somewhere up in the next fifth book or
Well, see if I tell you, it's not a
Oh,
secret.
gosh.
I am planning something big. I'm okay. So I water it down online, but I'm like super pro black. The forgotten people. Super pro black. It's a cliche to say you pro black now.
Yeah.
It's cliche to say you're pro black
Yeah.
now. But I'm raising 4 entrepreneurs. That's what I will say. So we have collectively, like I'm telling you, my kids push me to the limit. When you walk in the house and you got a 7-year-old telling you that she writing her book. When I got my 12-year-old son saying I'm drawing my comic book. When I got my
Wow.
almost 17-year-old daughter really contacting vendors, seeing what she got to do to start her fashion line. I'm like, I gotta go harder. You know,
Wow.
I
Yeah,
have to
you
go
have to
harder
go harder.
because I done already ignited that
Yep.
feeling of greatness inside of them, and they already starting to think. So I can't lose. You know,
Yeah,
like
you
I can't
can't.
lose because they have it already. It's in them. And that's why I always say they're a big part of what I do, and they know why I do what I do. But I'm teaching them, you know, even in school. Yeah, I'll send you to school, but you got to go above and beyond because it's systematically set up for us to fail.
It
It's,
is.
it's set up for
It
us to
is.
fail. So I just encourage them to always go above and beyond, to push yourself to new limits. Because again, the minute you become complacent and okay with just getting by in life, that's the minute you wake up and life will pass you by.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to talk through the scratchiness in my throat, and it's irritating the crap out of me.
Okay.
But how does anybody, I want a book,
Yeah.
or I just want whatever services you have, or just a combination of all of them. How do they get in contact with you?
The easiest and fastest way to get in contact with me is on my Instagram. Instagram is like a new website, right? On my Instagram, OGW underscore writing, WRITING, or my Facebook page, Odessa White. I do have a website, www.ogwwritings.com. My book is on Amazon. I pretty much prefer you to get it from me because I get all the profit.
Support the black
Yeah.
brown woman,
Yes,
please.
yes.
I was just telling the gentleman, my previous guest, it's interesting how we lack supporting
We
our
do.
own.
We do.
And he had the Herbalife, and the thing was, it's only, well, I'm making up the
Yeah.
price. It's $35, but are you serious? Like, Ray around the
Right.
corner for 10.
Right.
I'm like, no, he don't.
Right.
No, he don't.
Right.
He doesn't have this around the corner. He got some other stuff, but but we'll go in the other store and give them and not think twice about clipping coupons
Yeah,
and.
and that's why I have been conscious about supporting black businesses. Last year, this year, and just moving forward because you're absolutely right. Listen, our store, we done boycotted the neighborhood store, and my daughter was like, "Mom, we ain't going back there." I was like, okay, like, because again, I showed them, look at how we are treated.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
Chinese,
Mhm. Mhm.
Chinese, Japanese, I don't know, Chinese store. And I went in there and it was a baby. He was like 9 and he's at the register. He's taking orders, the mom in the back cooking and stuff. And that's fine. But a younger black boy, his age, came in there. And how he,
Yeah.
the stance he took on. And I'm just like, I'm looking and I'm observing and I'm like, what are they teaching their kids? That we inferior? And he like threw his money and he just was talking to him nasty. So I stopped him. I said, listen, you don't got to deal with that. I said, you can go to another store. Like, you don't let him talk to you like that. The mom came back. I had like $20 worth of food. I said, man, cancel that because this is direct reflection of you. You must be teaching your kids this. A lot of races, they teach their kids to be successful. They teach their kids the importance of community. And that's why I say I always tell people it's bigger than my kids because if I don't pour into the next kid, that kid can take my child life.
Yep. They
If
sure enough can.
So it's not just about my kids. Like I need to know that my community is good. So again, that goes back to the forgotten kid. My kids get it. It's not just about you. You're not on this earth. You have an obligation to help your community. And
You do.
that you can. So I try. I do my part, and in turn, I support people that never supported me a day in my life because I support their mission.
Right.
I support their mission. And once it's about personal satisfaction for you, because see, sometimes you don't get the same report from black entrepreneurs that you want. But see, it's my personal satisfaction to support as many people as I can. So if that means buying a ticket to your event or buying a product or a book I know I ain't going to read because I don't read urban fiction, again, it's a personal satisfaction to know that I supported a black business.
Let me ask you this. Like, what is your take on, because I will always have this discussion with people. For our black, brown communities that become successful, and the thing is how they don't come back into the neighborhood.
I think it's horrible. I think it's horrible. Now, I don't have that many black people on my block. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. And I look at my kids and some of the things they do, I'll be like, okay, where's their street smarts? But they are very much aware of their culture, of what they have to do for their community and what they have to do for their people. It's so many celebrities, and that's why I say I don't idolize celebrities.
Right.
And I mean no disrespect to anybody that has a platform, but it is so much more that can be done in our communities, and it's not being done.
It's not.
You got these multi-million-dollar properties in these churches, and no disrespect, right next to a neighborhood that's dirty, that's filthy, that's in poverty, and we're not putting back into our community, and it's not right. It's not right. And I think the minute that we start taking pride in our community and pride in our people, because it's systematic. You know, we've been brainwashed to not love ourselves. You know, and one of the big things that I push is confidence. Just being confident and having self-love, because us as a race, we don't love ourselves. And I think once we start loving ourselves,
I'm sorry.
and I will say in 2019, I think the shift is taking place. I think the shift is taking place, and I think that black entrepreneurs are on the rise, and they're being a lot more conscious of where they're spending money. So I think we're making progress.
You know, I asked this because now I know personally.
Yeah.
Jaleel Beats
Okay.
lives in Chester.
Okay.
And I'm so used to when you become successful, quote unquote successful, get to where you have enough money to buy wherever you want to go, to leave that place to some place, quote unquote, better. But Jaleel did the complete opposite.
Right.
He and his wife and children stayed in Chester.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, when I found out, I'm sitting up here like, seriously? Like, you didn't think no. He stayed in his community.
Nipsey stayed in his
Nipsey stayed too. But my thing was, even though it's Jaleel Beats, he's still in his place.
Right.
The lack of support is still not there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
Like he has a store, and you would think more people want to come in, more, and it's not that kind of like his wife owns a store across the street, and it's not like that. Now I didn't even know it was his wife's store, but and it's not so much Jaleel Beats, it's other black people within the community that stay in they stay in this place that they were born. But they still don't get that support. And then when they leave, oh, you think you better than us, or you just go.
Well, personally, I'm comfortable with who I am. People gonna have opinions whether you're doing something right or you're doing something wrong. This is why I can't stay. Like, okay, I grew up in North Philly. I was pregnant with my second son. I was a certified nursing assistant. I was making like $10 an hour, and my PHA finally came through. That was PHA from when my oldest daughter was a baby. I signed up. 5 years later, it came through. I turned it down. And when I went to work and told them, they like, oh, you think you better than everybody and this and that. And I said, I'm not raising my son. I'm having a son there. I'm not raising my son in the project.
Right.
Because again, just I'm working hard. I'm going to work every day, but everybody around them is not. So, but they got more than we do because I'm paying all. I just didn't want to raise something that I was raised in that environment. I want them to have peace. I don't want them to have to worry about getting gunned down,
right?
Or, certain things. But I think that if you don't see a lot of people, the miseducation of the Negro. A lot of people get success and they think that they have to disown their race.
Mm-hmm.
I still love my race. But our communities need a lot of healing before I'm willing to put my kids back into danger.
Right.
So I can't necessarily say once I get to a certain level, I'll still come here and I'll still do my events and I'll still pour into the community. I'll do book bag drives. The more money that come in, the more I can do for the community.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I have to lay my head there because I need my safety. Like, look at Nipsey. How much he done poured into that community. And we're finding more about it. So I think when you get to a certain level, you can still reach your hood by not being in the hood.
Right.
You can still inspire your community without being sleeping in the community because your safety is important too. I grew up and you go outside and somebody getting shot and you running by and people. I'm cool. I don't want my kids growing up like that. And it doesn't mean I turn my back on the black community because I choose to leave. It's the ones that don't come back. It's the ones
Right,
that don't
that
come
don't
back.
come back.
Meek Mills don't rest his head in Philly. And
Yeah,
he give back.
yeah.
He gives back
He does.
tremendously.
He
And
does.
he does not live in
He
Philly. You
does.
understand what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying?
does.
So
Mom
I
and
think
mom
as
lives
long as
here.
you don't
Grandma.
lose
Yep.
touch of who you are and where you come from, and you know that it's your obligation to give back to your community, you can live wherever you want to live.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, Miss Odessa, I got two things to ask of you. Share one more time how anyone might want to get one of your books from you, because we gotta make sure the profits
Yes.
come to you.
Yes.
No shade on Amazon. We're just saying
I
this
did
is
number one on Amazon already. Listen.
like she's a mother,
Yes.
mouths to feed.
You can follow me on Instagram at OGW_writing. On Facebook at Odessa White, and the link is in my bio. You can purchase the book. If you like to come to my event this Saturday, I'm having an event, 5547 Germantown Avenue. It's the What Are You Still Waiting For Vision Board Workshop. We're going to be pushing past some fears, visualizing some goals, because a lot of people have dreams, but they don't have goals. So we want to try to get people on the road to success. If I'm successful and everybody around me ain't successful, then I'm really not successful. So, the goal is to help as many people as I can. So if you are interested, come out tomorrow. Saturday is from 3 to 6, 5547 Germantown Ave. All the information is in my bio on Instagram, OGW_writing.
Okay, and one more thing. I need you to leave my audience with something positive they can rest their head on. This is a no excuse zone lady right here. Woman.
All right, let's see. Something positive.
Yes, ma'am.
Now she got me thinking.
Mm.
You know what? I'll do this poem, right? Shout out to Ambition, right? Ambition
Shout out.
the poet.
Oh, that's my baby.
Now I write poetry. I ain't a spoken word artist. All right. So I've been rejected, cast aside, forgotten, and left for dead. Yet when my past passed me by, only to return to haunt me, I begin to regurgitate the ill thoughts and feelings. I pray that I live to see the day when all my hopes and dreams are manifested. Self-doubt, that has been me, but no more. You can't break me down so easily. I have already faced rejection, abuse, failure, and defeat. I begin to function in a world consumed with dysfunction. Now I stand aware of my self-worth, which allows me to know a deeper me, because self-love has always been key. I chose that because self-love and confidence.
A lot of us.
Self-love and confidence. A lot of us are carrying baggage from our childhood and things that we experience, and internally we are not happy. I'm so happy. And I don't have, listen, I'm not rich. I work hard. Them 4 kids, I'm a single mother, single financially. I do everything. So I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I'm happy. I'm happy because everything I've been through, I now know who I am. I now have a sense of self-worth, a sense of self-love, a sense of confidence. I can walk out of here, and I know you wouldn't, but you can say whatever you want about me. But people that know me, like, now that's and even when I hear it, I know who I am. I stand tall with who I am. So I'm big on self-confidence and self-love. Find out who you are. And you might not be that positive person. And if you're not the positive person, you can become the positive person.
Yes, ma'am. I like that. Self-love. Yeah, I made a post, I think like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and I said it's okay to love yourself.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
It's okay, to say, you know what, I'm going to appreciate me. I'm going to respect me. I'm going to love me. I'm going to learn to like me. Like, who else will, It's you. But I like that. I really like that poem, and I think if more of us learned to love us, we would hate less.
Yes.
I really do. I think if we learn to love us, because like you said, I can get on the phone, I can and talk, but those that know you, like no,
Yeah.
and then you won't co-sign,
Right.
and what you said earlier, it's like no matter what you do,
You still,
some
yes,
I
yes,
Jill, even in Jill Scott's song, she says she can give up the diamonds and everything, and they're still,
yes.
and
That is the
she's
truth.
yeah.
It's the truth.
So you
It's the
still have
truth.
to love you no matter what.
Right.
But I appreciate you coming out here, spending time, sharing and everything. I really do. I so respect all of your hard work.
Thank you.
I really do. I mean, I'm picking out your words annually, and I'm like, okay, this woman has all I can. You've done the schooling, but I'm for those that never done it, I know that it takes a lot of dedication.
It do.
And
It do.
and to raise a family while going to school, that takes a lot. And to hear you say, I didn't have any excuses, no excuses. I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
my motto was,
yeah,
it's in the book, but my motto was nothing but death was keeping me from success.
yeah,
And I had to operate to that extreme because, again, it was no excuses. So
yep,
if I wasn't physically dead, I had to do
no
what I had to do.
excuses.
Because I will say this, you can continue doing what you're doing and continue to let life pass you by, or you can have no excuses and really push past all your fears and watch the amount of progress you make. It's two choices. You can allow life and the circumstances and the emotions and the tribulations you go through to stagnate you, or you can continue to push through and have no excuses.
No
I
excuses.
say
Be the verb.
execution over emotions.
Yes.
Execution over emotions, because the tribulations want to come. It's all about how you respond to it and the emotional attachment. Because things happen to me too, but you gotta just keep pushing past.
Got to keep pushing past. Well, I thank you so much, Miss Odessa White, for coming out here. I thank you. She's an awesome, I lied to you not, she's an awesome woman. She speaks so highly of God. She loves her children. She glows. She loves giving back. This is a woman of success. I'm telling you, there's a play coming out, and who knows who may be in it. But I don't see anything but good things coming her way. And I appreciate you coming out here.
Thank you.
But next week, next week, the 25th, I'm doing my entrepreneur networking here. So it's going to be entrepreneurs here. We're going to get a group photo, and I have a chef that's going to be here. Yep, yes, I do. I got a chef. He's coming back, and we're going to take a picture. We're going to actually do a live interview for all those that come on. So if anyone wants to be a part of it, please email me at Sony1PhillyHotRadio@gmail.com. That's SONY, the numerical 1, Philly Hot. At gmail.com. Philly Hot Radio, I'm sorry, at gmail.com. And on that note, hey, I'm about ready to take a pause for the calls, and we'll be back.